race gains momentum, concerns about President Joe Biden's mental fitness have taken center stage, casting a shadow over the field of candidates. Recent polls indicate that a significant majority of Americans doubt Biden's capacity to serve a second term in the White House, raising questions about his ability to effectively govern the nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is giving me skepticism regarding Biden's mental capacity for the presidency. According to a new NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll, a staggering 62% of Americans expressed skepticism regarding Biden's mental fitness to hold the highest office. This sentiment reflects a growing concern among the public, with many questioning whether Biden has the vigor and capability to navigate the complex challenges facing the nation. In contrast, the poll also revealed doubts about former President Donald Trump's ability to take on the role once again. However, while 43% of Americans doubted Trump's fortitude, the figure was notably lower than the skepticism directed towards Biden. As an individual concerned about the future of our nation, I find myself deeply troubled by the growing doubts surrounding President Joe Biden's mental fitness. It's undeniable that his occasional verbal slip-ups, memory lapses, and even physical incidents have raised legitimate questions about his ability to effectively lead and serve a second term in the White House. Critics argue that his verbal gaffes, occasional memory lapses, and moments of confusion during public appearances raise legitimate doubts about his cognitive abilities. As the leader of the free world, the president's mental acuity is of utmost importance, and any perceived shortcomings can have significant implications for the nation's governance and decision-making processes. These concerns about Biden's mental fitness come at a critical juncture in American politics. I mean, who in the world would want a president with mental incapacity? America's already mental enough. We don't need another crackhead running for office, do we? And with the 2024 presidential elections fast approaching, voters are keenly assessing the field of candidates and evaluating their suitability for the demanding role of leading the nation. The entry of new contenders, such as South Carolina Senator Tim Scott and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, adds further complexity to the race. These candidates, along with potential challengers from both the Democratic and Republican parties, are positioning themselves as alternatives to Biden, aiming to capitalize on the perceived doubts surrounding his mental capabilities. I have watched the incidents unfold, such as his near stumble down the stairs during the G7 summit, or the times when he stumbled over words during public addresses. These occurrences can't be brushed aside as insignificant moments. They reflect a pattern that demands our attention. As much as I want to believe in his capability to lead, I can't ignore the signs that suggest otherwise. As the 2024 presidential race intensifies, the focus on Biden's mental fitness is unlikely to fade away. Whether the doubts expressed by the majority of Americans will shape the outcome of the elections remains to be seen. However, it's obvious that addressing these concerns will be a critical challenge for Biden and his party as they navigate a highly competitive political landscape and strive to regain public trust. Biden stirs concerns. Worries about President Joe Biden's mental state stem from his frequent gaffes, which have raised doubts about his ability to run for a second term in the presidency. At 80 years old, Biden's fitness to lead has come under intense scrutiny. During the recent G7 summit held in Hiroshima, Japan, Biden was caught on camera nearly stumbling down a flight of stairs at the Itsukushima Shrine. Fortunately, he managed to regain his balance and prevent a fall. However, this incident is not an isolated one. Earlier this year, the president stumbled while ascending the stairs of Air Force One during a trip to Ukraine and Poland. In another incident last year, he fell off his bike while speaking with reporters in Delaware, his hometown. Biden's verbal blunders have also caused embarrassment. Last month, he relied on cheat sheets to provide scripted answers prepared by his aides. I mean, you're the head of a country, yet you can't even speak without cheat sheets? That alone speaks volumes about his current term. Similar mishaps have occurred in the past, with the president inadvertently displaying supposedly confidential notes in front of the media. Photographers captured Biden using a cheat sheet at the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia last November, guiding him on when to sit and pose for photos. A close-up image showed instructions stating, "You will sit at the center, and you will deliver opening remarks." Despite these incidents, Biden's administration and his wife have dismissed concerns about his mental fitness. First Lady Jill Biden dismissed a proposal by Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley for politicians over the age of 75 to undergo a mental competency test, calling it ridiculous. When questioned about Biden's ability to campaign, she pointed to his travel schedule as evidence of his stamina. Former President Donald Trump has also fueled doubts about Biden's mental acuity since the 2020 presidential campaign, once stating that his successor is not competent to be president. Just last week, 61 Republicans demanded that President Biden take a cognitive test or withdraw from the 2024 presidential race. Led by Texas Representative Ronnie Jackson, they expressed concerns about his current cognitive state and ability to serve another term as president, following Biden's announcement of his intention to run in 2024. The letter cited a growing number of incidents where Biden displayed signs of mental decline, including shuffling feet, stumbling, slurring words.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
And what would that be?
I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Forgetting names, losing train of thought, and appearing momentarily confused. The lawmakers highlighted that a simple online search for Biden gaffes yields over 14 million results, adding that these incidents and their frequency cast doubt on his capacity to fulfill the duties required of the President of the United States. As we approach the 2024 presidential elections, I can't help but worry about the implications of this uncertainty. Our nation deserves a leader who can inspire confidence, who can bring stability and strength to our country, and who needs to have an honest conversation about this matter.